This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so most of the organizations, those who wants to transform into the DevOps because of, they have a problem, some problems already. So most of the organizations. Okay. So next one is no incremental value, which a pain which every organization inherit. So one of the simple way I'm putting up. Let's say there's something which is working, running perfectly fine, and you don't want to change it. Why? Because of scare. Like, okay, if I do change and something goes wrong, then it will lots of problem for the project, escalations, and all this stuff like that. So you don't want to try out any new thing. You don't implement a new thing. If it's working, let it be working. And it's working from last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's working, but you are not adding any values to it. Are you getting moments?
Yep.
So this kind of problems organization is experiencing. Slow IT. So we need hundreds of hardware now, but it might take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Permission issues, waiting issues, many things are there. So how can we solve this slow IT problems? Because I'm ready for testing, but we don't have hardware for testing. I'm ready for deployment, but we don't have a hardware for doing that or anything else. Slow IT issues. In fighting issues, we have a lot in team. If anything goes wrong in the product release, it's not our mistake. Development team would say it's not our mistake. It's a development team will blame. Okay, let me put it in this way. Operations team is a production team, so they will say, hey, it's not our mistake, it's a testing mistake, they should have testing properly. Test team will say, hey, this is not our mistake, we did not get a right time to test the every features, because till last moment the code was getting committed. Development teams will say, hey, this is not my mistake, it's a architect mistake. They till last moment they were changing the plan, design, and all. Architect will say, this is not my mistake, it's a client mistake. Till last moment they were pushing the changes. And client would say, you guys don't understand anything. First of all, I said first day only all of our requirement, but you guys don't understand that. So everyone is blaming everyone, right? This is called infighting issues. Why we are blaming? Because of multiple teams. Okay, we are blaming because of multiple teams. If you become one team, then whom you blame? You tell me. Think about simple way. If you are blaming to each other because of multiple teams you are there, but if you become one team, then whom you blame? No one. You will have to work together as a team to solve the problem in a short span of time, right? Correct? Are you understanding, guys? All of you? All of you?
Yes.
Yes. So this is something which we have a problem. Infighting issues. But not only we have a pain, but we have a wastage also. Many wastage we have. We do the wastage. Knowledge waste. For in a product, we have a knowledge waste. I'll give you one example for each and every wastage in a simple way, because we don't have a full day session for this, but I need to convey a message to you. What is a knowledge waste? Let's say in a QA team, there is one engineer, QA engineer, who says, hey, and talk to manager and say, hey, I got a one good algorithm, and if we can automate this stuff, if you apply this algorithm, then our testing effort will be reduced by 110. Test manager is also very good manager. Everyone is good people, okay? So test manager is also good manager. He says, hey, the idea is nice, but you know what? I cannot allocate you to work on it because you don't know the programming language, the one which is required for it. And we have upcoming release, and for that we have a very strict deadlines. So this is a disappointment moment for the engineers. But again, manager is also nice person. He approached the development manager, and development manager send an email, multiple meetings, this, that, and all. It has happened. So many sync ups has happened, and ultimately, development manager also is a good person. Okay, development manager also good person, and he says, okay, let me talk to my engineers and see if they have a bandwidth to support this. And finally, n number of meetings, n number of emails, n number of interaction, n number of follow-ups. Finally, engineers from the dev team who's having knowledge on the programming, engineer from the QA team who's knowledge on the algorithm, sit together and fix the problem in 1 hour. So you tell me, what is the knowledge waste in this case? Think and tell me. In this small story, what is the knowledge waste? How it is knowledge based? All of you are able to hear me, right?
Yes.
So how it is knowledge based? See, knowledge based means, see, if you are a one team, you could have directly talked to your development engineers and fix the problem in 1 hour. But because you had a multiple teams, you had a knowledge within your team actually, but you wasted having so many conversation, emails, meeting, and sync up because of the structure of your team not allowing you to interact with the development team directly. So the waste is like all this emails meeting which has happened with the dev manager and QA manager unnecessarily. You could have been avoided if it is a one team. Getting my points, all of you? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rajesh.
Yes.
So that's called knowledge waste. We were supposed to do the things in 1 hour, but we ultimately completed in 1 week. So waiting waste. I think most of you are working. How can I teach you waiting waste? Just search in your Outlook, waiting keyword, and you'll understand waiting waste. Everyone is waiting for something, and because of that, the delay is happening. Just imagine, can we avoid this waiting waste? Can we avoid this waiting waste? So waiting for something, I'm waiting for permission, I'm waiting for this feedback, I'm waiting for this build, I'm waiting for the test cases, I'm waiting for the results, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. So that's a one waste which you can reduce it. Overproduction waste, something which is not planned, but we do it, we spend our time on it. So that's called overproduction waste. Have you seen these floated images over the internet? Clients has asked something, architect has understood something, developer has designed something, testing team has test something, and the operations team have delivered something. Have you seen this image in the internet, which was floating all the places? Have you
Yes.
seen this? Yeah, that's overproduction issues, waste. Why it has happened? Why this had happened? Anyone have an idea why this has happened?
Uh, might be communication or not understanding the requirements exactly of the client.
Wonderful. You said communication and understanding, and that is what I'm trying to tell you. DevOps is all about the communication and understanding. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? See here. Why this communication gap and understanding that? Because of culture and mindset. Culture and mindset. If it is a multiple team, You will have that culture and that mindset. But what about if it is one team? There's no communication gap. There's no communication gap. There's no understanding issues because it's a one team. We'll have to work together. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
That's overproduction issues. Over processing. How can I explain you? I'll put it in this way. One of the organization I joined some long back, 10 years before. You know what? To get all the appropriate access and all the KT done, and then so I can become a productive, it took me 2 months to do that. Just imagine 2 months for being a productive. That means 2 months to so I can start my bug fixing. Why? Because the process was like that. For each and every access, I need to wait for 1 week. I need to send a 10 emails, follow up, this, that, communication, misunderstanding, this, that, and all. But I joined one of the organization 5 years before. And you know what happened? The day one, the induction program, they gave me a laptop with user ID and password, and they said, everything is in your email. And I had every access, whatever I needed, all the documents in proper ways, how to create development setup, how to create a production setup, how to create a testing setup, how to deploy, what are the access needed, where the code, where the static analysis, where the build, every information, I had it in one go in my email, in one list. And I started becoming productive from the day one itself. So how does it matter? See, the process defines everything. You set a process so your engineers will become a productive in 2 months, and you set a process where your engineers will become productive from day one. So are you able to understand that the importance of process in your organization? So you need to find out the process which is creating a trouble for you. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Motion waste. Motion waste means at what motion, at what speed we transfer the information to one to another. Client sends some information to architect. Architect sends some information to development. Development sends some information to the QA. QA sends some information to the release ops team, and everyone sends some information. But what motion? Let's say code is committed now, but the feedback is released after 3 hours. Why? Did you have a right motion set, automation in place? So what motion? Basically, you do the work only for 30 minutes, but because of motion waste, we waste the time almost half day. Why? Because you are having a bad motion between the projects and stakeholders. So check this motion also, and you have to automate it. CI/CD is the solution for motion waste. Transportation waste. Transportation means, I'll put it in a simple way. Let's say I'm traveling from Mumbai to New Delhi. This is the two cities of India, metro city. How do you transport? I think 1500 kilometers between these two cities. Do you transport? Do you travel through cycle? Do you travel through bike? Do you travel through bus? Do you travel through plane, or do you travel through rail? You have to decide. So same way, how do you transport from developing environment the packages to the production environment? Sorry. Development to testing environment, testing to the pre-production, and pre-production to the production. How do you transport? At what speed you transport? What transport, you know that probably? The packages, dependencies, configurations, knowledge, to do, documents. So transportation waste, we need to check the transportation waste. How can you fix it? Container is a simple fix for it. So those who are knowing containers, wonderful. Those who are not knowing, anyways, I'll teach. Correction waste. I think I discussed this one. Bug fixing, we call it. I told you how this correction waste will lead your project to fail. how your correction bug fixing will lead your product to fail. So this is important, and correction waste is a problem all the time, all the time. So this is something which you need to look at it. So I don't think so you need to discuss this one. I think most of you are aware of it, right? Correct? Correct, right? So you have any questions? Just a second, hold on. Yeah. Are you understanding, guys?
Yeah.
Hello? So correction waste is like call it technical debt. Okay? Technical debt. This is something. Inventory waste. Inventory waste means you have a wastage. I mean, you have inventory. That means you have resources available within a team, within a project, but you are not able to utilize because of certain reasons, process issues, permission issues, this issue, that issues. Let's say IT infrastructure, dev separate, QA separate, production separate, but you cannot use it because of certain process in place. So that's inventory issues. So what I was trying to tell you is the pain area and the waste for the organizations. Correct? So how do we deal with it? That's the question. How do we deal with it? These are the problems area and pain. So are you able to visualize that what are the problems which we have in software development organizations? All of you? All of you? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it
Yes.
is clear now.
Yes, Rajesh.
So how to deal with it? That's the solution. You have a DevOps. DevOps, you have to recycle, reduce, and reuse some of the things which you've been doing from last 20 years. Okay, recycle, reduce, reuse, reuse some of the good thing, reduce some of the bad thing, recycle some of the things which you can wrap it up and recycle this along with the DevOps. So DevOps is the way to going further in the software development lifecycle. So Ginny said, IT is the factory floor of this century. Factory floor. So what was the factory floor for the last century? So manufacturing. Who win the manufacturing industry? China. Why? Because to become a manufacturing leader, not only you need to have a cheaper labor cost, but all the stakeholders should be aligned. For example, transport, shipping, road wage, policy makers, the tax department, everyone, unions, labor unions, everyone need to be aligned with each other so your product can be cheaper, better, and you can release to the whole world in a short span of time. So that's the reason China is the leader in the manufacturing. Remember, all the same time is the same goal. Remember, quality release, quality, but immediate also you need it. On top of that, you have to reduce the runtime and development cost also. So same time, same thing, same concept behind the manufacturing also. You need to maintain the quality, you need to make it in a less span of time, and same time you have to have a reduction in the manufacturing cost. So and that they can do it only if all the departments is in sync. So IT is the factory floor of this century, not manufacturing. And those who will automate the IT industry, they will win. Their product will be much cheaper, faster, better, and things like that. Are you understanding? So DevOps is a culture. to bring in your organization. Yes, DevOps is a culture and mindset. Are you ready for work as a team? Not a multiple team, one team. Multiple team, no. One team, one culture, one process, one practices, one mindset. This is a culture. And then the moment you have a right culture in place, the automations will bring into the picture. And then you can talk about, hey, Rajesh, I want to implement Terraform. I want to implement Ansible. I want to implement Docker. I want to implement Kubernetes. Those tools will come into the pictures only and will be helpful for you only if you guys are ready to work as a team. One team, ready for coding. DevOps, then monitoring in place and sharing. So this is DevOps. So guys, are you able to understand what is a DevOps now? At least little bit compared to last.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. So this is an approach. So now the question is, how can you do that transformation? How can we do that? So employee empowerment. Okay, every employee of your organizations need to be empowered, enhanced, enable, and engage. I'll give you an example for this. I need a 10 server for development or testing. So instead of sending an email to IT team permission and waiting waste for 2 days, I'm going to automatically myself and taking a 10 servers. That's all. This is called empowerment. I need to talk to development team. No permission, no email required. I'm going to talk to him. Hey, I want to talk to you. I need something from you. Or I want to talk to operations team. I want to talk to QA team. Anyone can talk to anyone without any process in place. Accountability. The moment you become one team, yes, you can. And I am accountable for any failures and success because it's a one team. You cannot blame others saying that, hey, this is not our mistake, this is our mistake. You have to bring the attitude of teamwork also. You have to bring it the teamwork. This is the right image, right? For the working. This in India, at least, this is very popular. I don't know about the outside. Correct? So one is good in land, one is good in water, but you cannot compete with each other. You have to empower each other. Correct now? All of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to empower. Because you cannot be good in everything. You have to work as a team. You have to learn by sharing. You need to share something. Like most of the people, hey, if I share, then my importance will go away. No, you have to share everything, whatever you know, and through the Confluence. Confluence is this is the reason I taught you Confluence after the Jira. So Jira, Confluence, I'm going to teach you how to share the knowledge. It's not like you're going to force feed someone, but whatever you know, just share on the Confluence. Trust each other and reinforcing the value. So these are the things we should empower in the employee. After that, organization also need to change. Okay, change in organizations. So they need to have a clear vision, first of all, whether they want to transform into DevOps or not. They need to recognize the bottlenecks. I mean, they need to tell, okay, these are the pain area we have. Management should tell, okay, we have a problem, so we should have a fixes. If management will say, hey, we don't have a problem, we have everything is okay, everything is just superb in our team, there's no problem actually, then there's no improvement. Okay. Organization also should alter the team structure. Only organization can do. So reorganization is the right keyword. Who can do it? Only organizations. So no more IT, sales, release management, development, and project management. There should be only one team, and that's called DevOps team. And each individual member of DevOps team should be having the shared resources. So Adrian said, DevOps is just a reorg. If you really want to implement the DevOps, just take a hard call and reorganize every team and put it in one team. That's all. It's not like something new tools to hire, new teams to hire. Share the responsibility. I told you, sharing the resources means, remember the 3 lines which I said, I am a DevOps engineer. I'm ready to code for the product. I'm ready to code for the testing the product. and I'm ready to code for the testing, infrastructure, CI/CD operations, and blah blah blah. So you have to share the resources and hands off. Whatever you do, deliver and hands off to the team. So these are the things which you have to do with the right mindset. Try to eliminate all the wastage which we identify in the previous session, which includes overproduction, useless processes, useless motion, defect rework, scrap, overstocking, waiting, and transportation waste. These are the things which you have to do that. So this is called DevOps. So all of you are understanding about the DevOps, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's have a one break for 15 minutes. And once you come back from the break, then I'll teach you what are the tools which we have in order to implement the DevOps. And then also I will introduce you the SRE concept, which is becoming very popular nowadays, and DevSecOps concept after that. So can we go for the break, all of you?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, guys, see you after 15 minutes. Bye.